Hey, Chris Clear, thank you for the $5.
Jack's getting his skin torn off being a literal depiction of his mask coming off, so P call some more for Trans Jack's theory?
Oh, shit. Fuck. Okay, time to talk. Now that I have around 4,000 viewers right now, time to talk, because I have a little... I said this at the start of the stream. Most of you weren't here for that. I have a little thought about Jax that could get me cancelled on Twitter. So I'm just gonna say it because I like to have fun, right? And now that I have a big platform right now, I can actually talk about my thoughts about Jax that could possibly get me cancelled, because I love riding the edge when it comes to this. So, Jax, this boy, my personal opinion, he's one of the best representations for trans people, like, in any show ever. I fucking adore Jax. I was hesitant before, you know, about the Jax trans theory, because I was like, I don't like to give that onto characters. I don't like to, like, put that kind of heavy interpretation onto characters without it being very obvious, right? Because, you know, it's a very touchy subject, and it's something that people really care about. So I was like, maybe it's something that Jax... maybe it's a representation for something else, you know? Maybe it's about identity in general, or maybe it's about, like, fucking, like, hiding your feelings, and, like, blah, 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 like, generalized hiding feelings type of thing, right? But, like, after this episode, and after this torture scene with Jax, where is it? Here? I am pretty much convinced that Jax is, like, closeted trans. Like, 100%. It is so layered in subtext that it might as well be the text. You know? Like, poor... I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. Like, I know people will be like, I don't think that this will ever be confirmed in the show, you know? But I think that as a representation of people, like trans people stuck in the closet, or like stuck, like still struggling with their identity, Jax is one of the best representations of that. Because, okay, time to do the thing that's gonna make me look like an asshole if, like, you take it out of context, blah, blah, blah. Let's fucking go. Every time that I see a trans person in shows, in media, they are always immediately accepting of themselves, and they always pass through the struggles of transitioning, and they've always shown themselves to be happy with their post-transition identity, you know? And that's nice, because that's a way of showing people, oh, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You will be happier if you accept yourself for who you are. Look at this character became so much happier once they accepted themselves. That's nice. That's really nice. But I want to see the ugliness of it, you know? I like to see the character struggling and, like, lashing out and being, like, unstable about it. Every single... Like, most trans representations in media, at least, like, from what I've seen, I haven't seen every single example, but most of them are, like, these really, self-hating, shy, kind people that don't lash out at others. They're more like Gangle, you know? They're always much more kind and positive, and their strife is inherently internal. No, they don't try to harm or, like, they don't lash out at other people for their, like, internal struggle. It's always them that gets the brunt of the issue. Jax is perfect because his own struggles with his identity make him angry and make him disconnect from the world and make him lash out at the world, you know? And that's what I find so compelling. Because he's an asshole. Jax is an asshole because he doesn't want to feel real, because he doesn't want to feel that anything around him is real, because he doesn't want to feel like a person. He doesn't want to, like, accept what he is. He hates himself. He doesn't think that he's worthy to be a real person, you know? I find that so compelling. He hates himself to the point that he would rather be a cartoon character because he's already given up the idea of being who he wants to be, of being like a woman, of being a girly girl. He is insulted by people calling out his masculinity into question because he is so fucking trans, you know? He is so fucking trans. And he's an asshole and hurts everyone around him because of his internal struggles. I feel that's so good because, yeah, like, if you're going through these issues of hating yourself so much, some people do lash out at others because of it. You know, not everyone lashes out at only themselves. People will be angry and they will lash out at others and they will try to disconnect from others and will try to be like a villain, or will try to, like, appear that they don't care when they secretly really, 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 really fucking care. I just love Jax, and I feel like the Jax trans interpretation adds so much more depth to his character. The whole thing with, like, his room being like this girly Barbie doll looking ass motherfucking room. Every time, like, he tries to constantly think of himself as like a manly man and all that. Like, I feel like that it's such a good read of his character, and like an addition that perfectly explains his behaviors, you know? What if he's just a feminine guy? If that was the case, he wouldn't be, like, you know, he wouldn't be struggling to accept himself so much, you know what I mean? He hates himself because he feels like he's wrong. He's like, he shouldn't be like this. He shouldn't be a person. I love him so much. Maybe at the end of the show, we'll get a little glimpse at Jax transitioning. Maybe he will... Oh, you know what? You know what would be cool? You know what would be cool? If... at the end of the show, they won't get out of the they won't get out into the real world. But you know what would be cool at the end of the show after everyone kind of fixes the problem of episode 9? It would be cool if Jax used the power of imagination, the summoning objects, like changing the world around them thing, to make himself a body that is more comfortable for him. You know? Like, if they can manipulate reality to the point of, like, summoning butterflies or summoning exits and stuff like that, what if Jax uses that power to actually change himself into something that he's more comfortable with? Wouldn't that be great? And not even acknowledge it, just, like, show it. Like, oh, he just looks different now, and people call him she now. Like, after, like, a time skip where, like, they show themselves a little bit more comfortable in the circus. I think that would be great. I think that would be, like, genuinely heartwarming, you know? I will still call Jax a he, though, because I feel like he currently thinks of himself as a man, and therefore I will call him a man until he has decided to change that about himself, you know? He's gotta be the one to pull the trigger, not me. Anyways, let's continue with the super chats.